Doing the things you know you should do, even when you don't feel like it, that's called discipline. To capture the emotion and capture the wisdom and transform that into equity, that's called discipline. Discipline is a term that you hear too often without actually understanding how to use it and how to be disciplined. Because you know that understanding something is one thing, and to do something is something completely different. Most people learn a lot, and most people are in love with getting educated and to understand things, but they're allergic to execution. Discipline is for the person that is able to put in the action even when they don't feel like it. Motivation is to put in the action because you feel like it, because you feel this urge and you feel like, oh, I need to do this and I feel like doing it. Discipline is the opposite. It's doing it even when there's no feeling inside of you saying that, oh, I really want to do this thing right now. But that's when it matters the most, you know? When I sat down in the car to practice this morning, I have to be honest, I didn't feel like talking to the camera right now and to create an episode of this podcast because I'm a bit tired. I didn't sleep so good and I got a lot of stuff in my mind. But today's topic that I wanted to talk about was discipline. And if I'm not capable of actually being disciplined myself, who am I to tell you that discipline is a smart thing to do and to have? So this is just a simple reminder that if you want to achieve something and you really want to build something or do something bigger than yourself, something that is great in this lifetime that you have, you need to build discipline. Motivation comes and goes. That's the issue. You have it sometimes, other times you don't. You can't really rely on motivation on the long term. The difference is that discipline makes you do the thing either way. When you don't feel like it, when you feel like doing it, you know? So, with that said, what is it in your life right now that you know you should do more of, that you know you should do more often, that you actually have committed yourself and told yourself that you're gonna do, but you keep on avoiding every time you don't feel like it? First is to identify what are those things. And then second, you need to make a commitment. For example, this podcast is something that I want to build. And I want to actually make it good. I want to learn how to do this thing. Yes, this is episode 4, right? But already I have this thing where, today maybe I don't feel like it. And it's natural. We as humans, we just, like, at some point, we have this crazy urge to do stuff and we're super motivated and we want to wake up early in the morning and we want to do 1,000 reps of whatever the thing is. But then when it comes to it, there are just times when you don't feel like it anymore. You want to do everything else. You want to relax. You think it's too hard. But that's the time to do it anyway, you know? But the people that get best in anything they do, if it's a sports career, if it's in business, if it's in trading, investing, any theme, any topic, any niche, like one common factor is that the people have discipline. So once you identify the things that you need to be more disciplined about, ask yourself the question why you're not doing it. I would give you one key advice, and is that sometimes the barrier to start is just too hard. And an example is that, just to keep it relevant, this podcast, if I stay on that example, it would be a bit hard for me to do it, and it would be like, it would feel not, it wouldn't be hard, that's wrong to say. What I meant to say is that it would feel hard to do if I didn't have a setup for my camera, if I had a shitty phone that worked every now and then, and if I didn't have the capacity and the energy. But right now I have the energy and the capacity. I bought myself or have a good phone that I can record on, which makes it easier. And third is that I bought a mount which I put in the car that I attach the phone to. And all of that makes it very convenient and easy for me to actually just plug in the phone and press record. So I create the least amount of resistance as possible for me to be disciplined on the areas that I've told myself and committed myself to be doing things about. Meaning the podcast. I need to make it as easy as possible for myself to do it. If it is being disciplined about what you eat for yourself, as an example, you put less cookies in your cabinet. You have less ice cream in the freezer. And you have less of the things that puts you on the wrong direction available to you. That's like a habit change that makes the discipline easier to go through it. And when you commit to being disciplined about something, or you commit to a certain goal, you also need to realize and accept that discipline is required. Because you won't always feel like it at any point. For anything. Like, I love playing football. Trust me, I think it's one of the best things in the world. But there are days every single week where I don't feel like going to practice, where it's not that fun. Because of, it can be about anything. It can be low energy. It can be about frustration on a certain teammate. It can be about me wanting to do a different thing that I rather want to do in the moment. But the point is that I do go to practice then anyway, because I'm committed, because I'm disciplined. And I've told myself that, hey, this is this thing that I want. Therefore, I need to put in the work. Therefore, I can't just rely on my motivation. So I'm talking to you right now. Stop relying on that motivation every time. If you only do the thing you know to do when you feel like it, you're never going to go anywhere special. Because there are people in this world that put in the work, first of all, when they feel like it, but second of all, when the discipline is required and they don't feel like it. And that's the key separator. In sports, in life, in anything. Being capable of doing things that you don't feel like and do it anyway. Like, do it anyway. Create that mantra in your head. Tell yourself that you're a person that does it anyway. You do it whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it. That's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed hearing a bit about why discipline is important, what discipline looks like, and now it's your turn.